So now we're dealing with the fallout from the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump as he began to run for president again. This last weekend in Butler, PA, there was an assassination attempt on his life. And so many people now are talking about it. Some are saying it's real. Some are saying that it's fake. It was a hoax. He did this to try to get public sympathy from the people after what happened on January 6th, where they stormed buildings in D.C. There's a lot of talk going on. But there's people like Umar Johnson. They're going to YouTube and social media and they're talking. Stephen A. Smith, he's also voicing his opinion. Also comedian Eddie Griffin. And witnesses that were there on the scene that actually saw the shooter before he took the shot that in his attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. But on Eddie Griffin's podcast, he took to his podcast to voice his opinion on what he saw and how he thought that this thing played out. Let's listen to that. We'll come right back.
Former President Donald Trump, soon to be new president of the United States of America. This is guaranteed he's gonna win. Trump got up like Tupac got up when he got shot. I mean, we're gonna have to change his name to Two Trump. Pac Trump. Because goddamn, this motherfucker got up pumping his fist. I mean, it was beautifully staged. The shooter is dead. I don't know, it was just too perfect. He's just turned and nicked his ear and then, a little trickle of blood. He might have had a little blood packet in his hand and just, fuck them motherfuckers, fuck them. Y'all read his lips? That's what he's saying. Fuck them motherfuckers, fuck them. John Wayne ain't got shit on Donald Trump. That's 2 Trump, 50 Trump. Presidency is in the bag, The whole world's a stage, so, you just never know. 2 people are conveniently dead with no names. The shooter's dead, no name. I mean, yeah. I don't know who's doing the reporting, but, y'all need to do a little digging and give us some names of the motherfuckers that are shot and the shooter. My condolences going out to the family members of those deceased, if they are deceased. And, yeah.
Now, from his perspective, he's saying that he thinks that this was a hoax. I don't know. I saw the video. My question would be, when the shots were being fired, the people in the crowd behind them, usually you would see a large disbursement. They would have dispersed, like it would have departed like the Red Sea, and you didn't see that. Then you seen people screaming, USA, USA, USA. So knowing this country and a lot of things that go on, I don't know. I'm not going to say that it was fake. I'm not going to say that I believe that it was real. I'm not sure what I saw. Me seeing him getting up and throwing the fist in the air and the crowd yelling USA, USA after we see a live shooter. I don't know. But let's listen to what Umar Johnson had to say.
That I believe that President Donald Trump's unaliving was done by the power structure so that they could intensify the martyr narrative that the Republican National Convention is pushing on the American people to engender Donald Trump into the American public's heart so that they will vote for him in this November. That attempted unaliving, which I believe was completely staged for Donald Trump, I believe, to me, my opinion at this time based on the evidence, and it could change, but my opinion right now is that Donald Trump is the white power structure's selection to be president of the United States this November. Again, my opinion could change based on subsequent evidence and information. But as of right now, I believe that Donald Trump is the power structure's choice to be the next president. Otherwise, it would have not been necessary to stage an attempted unaliving so Donald Trump could look more like a martyr, more like a victim. He's already looking like a martyr. He's already looking like a victim. He's already looking like he's up against the American power structure after being convicted of a felony, after being charged with a felony, being the only president in American history to be convicted of a felony while holding office, and now an attempted unaliving, and now an attempted unaliving, and now an attempted unaliving. I believe without question that Donald Trump is the power structure's choice, and they're doing everything they can to paint him like he is a victim of unfair targeting, unfair slander, and unfair cheating by the Democratic National Convention.
Now, again, Umar Johnson is voicing his opinion on the situation, and he's saying that he thinks that, you know, it was some shady, some crafty counsel in the home, some crafty counsel in the house. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, I'm on YouTube, and like I said, me seeing him throw the fist in the air, knowing that there's an active shooter out there that's shooting, I don't know. I don't know. You know, he yelling all kinds of stuff, you know, and he's overpowering his Secret Service agents, you know, out there. And they even stopped him for a photo op, and there's an active sniper. Come on, American public. What do you think? Come on, American public. But then Stephen A. Snitch, he had something to say. And he voiced his opinion, and he was very upset. And Stephen A. Snitch, you know how he gets super animated. But let's listen to what Stephen A. Snitch had to say.
There's not a word in there that he said that we can refute. And he brought up somebody that was injured. This individual was killed. Shots rang out, and he literally jumped to save his wife, to cover his wife and his 2 children. And he got hit in the head, and he was killed. My condolences to him, to his family, and to him, of course, and to those who were injured at the rally as well. But make no mistake about it, Donald Trump, in my opinion, secured the presidency with this. A Donald Trump that was impeached twice. A Donald Trump that had a $454 million settlement levied against him. A Donald Trump that was convicted on 34 felony counts, yet was still the presumptive GOP nominee. That Donald Trump is now a martyr. You can slice it any way you want to. If you're talking about America and the kind of impact visuals have on our society, good or bad, as a politician, it don't get any better than the picture by the Associated Press, by the way, that you see of Donald Trump surrounded by Secret Service agents, raising his fist, imploring folks to continue to fight with the American flag behind him. It doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not using words like better and stuff like that inappropriately, because obviously I'm not talking about his shooting. That in and of itself is egregious and awful and heinous. I'm talking about the photo thereafter. As a politician, it doesn't get it. You can't find a better photo than that. You just can't. And so this is where we are. And if you are President Biden, boy, do you've got your work cut out for you now. Because the courts in Florida just ruled that Donald Trump can't be prosecuted for taking the files out of the White House to his Mar-a-Lago estate. So you can't go after him for that any longer. Okay? That's no longer an issue. That's no longer something you can get at him about. We already know he lost the New York City hush money trial for falsifying business records. Those were the 34 felony counts that I told you about. He still has the Capitol riot in the 2020 election case. What you think that's going to be like? What DA is going to be able to bring Donald Trump into court at this moment? Think about that. Think about that. The GOP, the Republican National Convention, starts tonight in Milwaukee. He's going to name his VP running mate. He's going to give a speech Thursday, and it will no longer be presumptive. He will be officially the GOP nominee. How are you going to rush him into court for the 2020 election case now? He still has a Georgia 2020 election interference case. How are you going to run that against him now? Tell me what prosecutor is going to be able to justify to the American public taking a presidential candidate and the GOP nominee into court days or weeks after he survived an assassination attempt. You can't do it.
But then there was a witness who told the Pittsburgh News that he actually saw the shooter on the roof. They even alerted the police. So there was an active shooter that was seen before shots rang out. They went to the police and they told, and he was never stopped. He was never, apprehended before the shots rang out. This is what this man told the Pittsburgh News.
A gentleman who was along the fence line, I'm just meeting him right now. Sir, thank you so much. You're talking to KDKA. Can I have your name and what did you see and hear?
It was Ben Macer. I was at the same point that probably the witness you were talking to earlier. I was up at the fence line, saw the guy move from roof to roof, told an officer that he was on the roof. The officer come look, and when I turned around to go back to where I was is when the gunshots started, and then it was just chaos, and we all came running away, and that was that.
Let me get this right. So you actually saw the man on top of the roof behind us?
Yes.
And you're saying people reported that to law enforcement, saying there is a man on the roof of the building?
Yes, there were two officers that were actively searching. You could tell they were searching and looking for somebody, and we just tried to help and tell them where the guy was, and at some point somebody obviously found him, or the snipers found him, and that was the end of his decisions.
Did you get a good look at the guy on the roof?
I did not have a good look at him, but I just seen him going from one building to another. There was a little gap in between, and he went, and when I went back to see the people that I heard that could see him, seen a quick look at him there, and then went to the officer to tell the officer, and that was all that I got.
So I would say this in closing. Donald Trump has said some very insensitive things over the years. He said some things about Haiti. He said things about Africa. I remember when he was on a panel, he said, "Here's my African American right here." I mean, he just said a lot of egregious things, man. But he's not the worst president we ever had. He's just along a line of a lot of different presidents we ever had. They are who they are. I ain't got to name their names. We're black in America. We know the presidents. We know the things that they said in time and history. We know LBJ and the racist things that he said. So like I said, we know Truman and so many of them. We already know. So why you act like you shocked when Trump get in there and he says some things that you don't like? All of a sudden, Trump is the worst president that we ever had. How? Let's look at some of our previous presidents. What about Ronald Reagan when he got caught calling Africans monkeys on the phone with Richard Nixon? How about that? Y'all forgot about that? How about your current president, Joe Biden, who also did the eulogy for Strom Thurmond, who was a well-known white supremacist who ran for president, out of South Carolina? How about that? We just conveniently forget about all these people. Andrew Johnson, Andrew Jackson, all of them. Which one I think it was Andrew Johnson, the one that rescinded Special Order 15 after the war, when we were supposed to be given land. Yeah, how about that? And Lincoln was killed, and he came and took over and rescinded everything. How about that? So I'm just saying, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's real or fake. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.